So you're buying a house. You run to the bank and they say you can get $1 million house, which is based off of spending $6,000 a month. Great, let's go find $1 million house. Well, let's take a step back a little bit and let's actually understand some of the hidden costs of buying a house. What if I told you that $6,000 is just the beginning? There are a lot of other costs associated with owning a house. Let's discuss those together. My name's Adam. I'm a realtor here in Bergen County, and I'm here to help step you through it so that you don't make any bad financial decisions. We're gonna talk about the hidden costs of home ownership, the ones that nobody tells you, and the ones that you probably underestimate how much they are. So you go to the bank. The bank says you can spend $6,000 per month on your mortgage. What they're doing is they're looking at your gross income, they're taking a certain percentage of that, and then they're taking out things like car payments. What they're doing is they're saying you can spend $6,000 per month on principal, interest, which is your mortgage, taxes, and homeowner's insurance. They're not taking into account all the other stuff. All they do is look at your income and they look at your basic car expenses and they say, you can spend this much per month. But here's the problem. There are a lot of other hidden costs that go into owning a house besides principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. It's not just that. If you're not prepared for these costs, you're gonna be in for a very rude awakening. For the first unexpected hidden cost of owning a home, let's talk about what I call the oh shit, the emergency fund. You're buying a house, things are gonna break. Your boiler, your furnace, your water heater, things are gonna need to be replaced over time. Even if you're buying brand new construction, things still happen. Did you know the average homeowner only has a few $1,000s saved up in this fund? What happens if your air conditioning goes? AC is gonna cost you at least $10,000, $12,000 to replace one unit. Water heater's around $2,000. Boiler, between $6,000 and $8,000 depending. If you don't have the money put aside for this in reserves, you're gonna be in trouble. A good estimate is to take 2 to 3% of your home price and put it into a savings account every year. That's the money that you can use for an emergency. This is one of the things that we really look at when we're viewing the house. It's all on the seller's disclosure, to the best of the seller's information, to the best of the seller's knowledge. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the seller's disclosure. How old is the roof? How old is the heating? How old is the air conditioning? How old is the water heater? Things like that. Those are gonna tell us generally how much life is left in them, right? If it's a 30-year-old air conditioner, you can assume you're gonna have to replace it very soon. But if it's brand new and it was replaced 6 months ago, A, it probably has a warranty, and B, it's probably gonna last you another 20 some odd years. That's gonna all take, the amount that you offer is gonna take all of that into account as well. I've seen new construction homes where people buy brand new construction and still stuff goes wrong and there's unexpected expenses. Sometimes I had somebody buy a house that had a well and there was an issue with the well, so they had to put in a $3,000 water filtration system on day one. My own experience, I bought my house, unexpected expense. Bought my house 2 weeks after I bought it, I had water coming into that. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have flood insurance. I'm not in a flood zone. It was just a little bit of water that came from the rain. I ended up having to redo my driveway, put new drainage in. I spent $11,000 2 weeks after buying my house to fix this problem. Completely unexpected. If I didn't have the money, what was I gonna do? Always make sure you budget for unexpected things to break or happen. It's going to happen. Remember, just because something is old, it's not defective. That doesn't mean you can necessarily make a request on your inspection for an old boiler. It could be 1,000 years old. Remember, if it works the way it's supposed to, it's not defective. So don't count on that. Just budget ahead of time. Here's another one, utilities. It's not just electric, gas, and water. You also have to think about landscaping, snow removal, cable and internet. Things like that, they add up fast. And especially in today's day when utility prices are through the roof. Everybody's spending 50 to 75% more than they did just a few years ago on the exact same thing. You have no choice but to pay this, but make sure you budget so that you're prepared for this. A good way to find out what an estimate is, ask the current homeowners. How much do you currently pay for electric? How much do you pay for gas? How much do you pay for water every month on average? This will give you a ballpark of what you can budget when you're making your offer. And here's the next one, everybody's favorite, homeowners association, HOA. They're gonna have a monthly fee. Yes, there are things included in that. Could be garbage removal, could be snow removal, could be landscaping, could even be water, could be heat. It depends on the building, depends on the association. But you have to make sure you budget for this. You also have to make sure you budget for assessments. What's an assessment? The HOA wants to redo the roof. The HOA is legally obligated to keep a certain amount of money in reserves at all times. That's New Jersey law. But they need to redo the roof on the entire building. They don't have enough money there. What are they gonna do? Everybody's got to kick in for an assessment. Could be $100 a month for the next 5 years. That's unexpected, but it happens. And if you can't pay it, you're in trouble. Also, remember, HOA fees probably never going to go down. They're going to go up every single year as the cost of doing business goes up. Landscaping costs more every single year. So they're going to charge you every more for HOA fees. Just keep that in mind. Look at the history of the building or the association. How much has it gone up over the years? Has it gone from $200 to $1,000 in the last 5 years? Well, there might be an issue. Or has it stayed relatively similar over the last several years? You can ask for that information. And here's everybody's favorite, insurance. Everybody thinks it's just homeowners insurance, which is a big factor. You can and you should shop around for homeowners insurance. Two companies could be drastically different in price per month, but make sure you're getting good coverage. It's only as good as your coverage, right? You get a cheap price, but you have no coverage and something happens, what are you gonna do? Is your house in a flood zone? If it's in a flood zone, your lender is going to require you to carry flood insurance. Even if they don't, or you buy a cash deal, if you're in a flood zone, get the flood insurance. It's all based on the level of risk to your house. The price you pay every month is based on the level of risk to your house and your contents. Another one that a lot of people forget, moving costs. It does cost a lot of money to get a mover to professionally move your furniture from one place to another. On top of all of that, you're moving into a new house. Are you gonna want a new couch? Are you gonna want new furniture? Once again, all of that adds up. So just understand what you need to do to fill your house. Another thing is an umbrella policy for your insurance policy. What happens if you get sued outside the house? Now they could come take your house. An umbrella policy is not expensive. It could be a few $100s a year per $1 million of coverage. In the event that you get sued, they're gonna step in and protect you. So what does an umbrella policy, what does it do? It protects your assets in case you get sued. Remember, with insurance, you can also raise your deductible. Go from a $1,000 deductible to a $2,000 to a $5,000, and you can go all the way up from there. When you raise your deductible, your premiums every year are going to drop. But in the event that you have to make a claim, you have to be comfortable paying that deductible out of pocket. Also, don't be silly with insurance. If you have a $2,000 deductible and you get $1,500 worth of damage to your house, don't go through the insurance. They're just gonna raise your rate. Pay the $1,500 and be done with it. You're not gonna get any money from your insurance anyway, and all it's gonna do is put in a claim. So now we've discussed a lot of the recurring costs that are unexpected or probably a lot higher than you anticipated. Let's talk about the one-time costs when you buy your house. You're buying $1 million house. You're gonna put down 20%. That's $200,000. You think, all right, I got 200 grand in the bank. I'm good to go. Yeah, but there's other costs. We call these the closing costs. Rough average is between 2 to 3% of your purchase price. So you're buying $1 million house, figure you're gonna be between $20,000 to $30,000 in additional closing costs that you're gonna pay one time. Could be more. As a real estate agent, I get asked this question all the time. How much is it gonna cost me? Well, there's a lot of variables that get factored in here. I'm gonna give you the worst case scenario. I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to have trouble down the line coming up with the money in the event that it's higher than you thought. I'd rather you have extra cash in your pocket and be pleasantly surprised. Some of these costs are attorney's fees, inspector's fees. A big one is title insurance, prorated taxes, prorated HOA fees, things like that. So just make sure to factor all of that in, because those can add up really quickly. A good real estate agent is going to give you an accurate figure for what that number should be, a ballpark. It's not going to be precise because it does depend on the exact day of the week that you close, but they'll be able to give you an idea of what it should be. Another one-time cost that you should never, ever completely waive, in my opinion, is the home inspection. A home inspection for a condo might be $500, but now you're doing a single family house. You have your general home inspection, you have your sewer line, you have your radon, you have your oil tank sweep. It could easily be a few $1,000s worth of inspection. Some of the best money you'll spend, but still, just make sure you prepare for it. If the home inspector comes in and says, I don't like this crack in the foundation, remember, a home inspector is a generalist, right? They're not a structural engineer. They might say, I recommend you get a structural engineer. That could cost you $2,000. It's good to do. You should do it because it protects you. Just make sure you're prepared for it. The next thing is landscaping and outdoor expensive. Are you planning on spending every weekend mowing your lawn? Or are you gonna have somebody do it and hire a service? That adds up. They're gonna charge you every week to come cut your lawn in the summer. They're gonna charge you in the fall to clean out the leaves, in the spring to clean up your lawn. They might do snow removal for you as well. It definitely adds up to easily thousands of dollars per year. So what I did was I took two towns. I took Rivervale, which historically has slightly higher taxes, and I took Paramus, which is more reasonable taxes. I looked at $1 million home and I estimated what the taxes would be to give you the monthly cost. I wanna show you how big of a difference it is between two towns that have different taxes. Rivervale, your tax rate is about 2.4% of market value, roughly. So $1 million house, your taxes will be roughly $24,000. Based on today's interest rates, that brings you to about $6,950 per month. Paramus has taxes of about 1.3 to 1.4%. So the same $1 million house, the taxes are gonna be roughly $13,000 a year. Principal and interest, your mortgage is gonna be $6,037. That's a difference of over $900 per month, or almost $11,000 a year just in taxes. Now let's look at this over the course of 30 years, right? Because you're taking out a mortgage most likely. They're gonna be making 360 payments over the next 30 years. So Rivervale, your monthly payment is $6,954. Over 30 years, that $1 million house is gonna cost you $2.5 million. I know, Everybody hates seeing those numbers. I'm sorry, I have to do it to you. Paramus, because your taxes are so much less, you're gonna be at $2.17 million for that $1 million house over the course of 30 years. We're talking about a difference of almost $350,000, all in taxes for the same house. That's how big of a difference it can make. Now here's the big one, property taxes. Property taxes in New Jersey vary by town. On a $1 million house, one town could have $10,000 in taxes, another one could have $25,000 or $30,000 in taxes. It literally goes town by town. The town is supposed to base the assessed value, how much they value your house at, based off of what the market value of your house is. They are not allowed to be substantially higher. I believe the number is 15% in New Jersey. They're typically below market value, however. I'll give you an example. I sold a $5 million house last year, but the town had it assessed at $10 million. So they were paying taxes based on $10 million. What they did was they hired a tax attorney. A tax attorney typically is going to take 1/3 to 1/2 of 1 year's savings. So in this case, he was saving a ton of money. Easily made sense. They were able to get their taxes essentially cut in half. Why do some of the towns have lower taxes? Well, 2/3 of your tax money goes straight to the schools in a lot of these towns. The town might not have their own high school. They might have a send receive with another town where they pay per student. I mean, there's a lot of variables that get factored in there. One town can literally be 3 times as much in taxes as the next town for the same house. So now we've talked about all the ways you can spend money. How do you save some of that money so hopefully you can put some food on the table at the end of the day? There's a lot of different ways that you can save money. One of the big ways is when you're shopping for a lender. Find somebody that's got a low interest rate. That's gonna lower your principal and your interest. And a difference of 0.5%, 1/4% is real money. Make sure you understand the taxes in the towns that you're looking at. Are you gonna be using the systems that you're paying the taxes for or not? Or would you be better off in a town with low taxes that you're not gonna be using the schools? You have to take all of that into account. Like I mentioned earlier, 2 companies can be completely different on their insurance premium. They have their own algorithms and they figure it out on their own, but definitely shop around and keep shopping around. Don't take one company and have that for 20 years. Every few years, shop around, see what else is out there. Understand if you're in a flood zone. Understand what the cost of flood insurance is. That does add up. You can get more bang for your buck on the purchase of the house, but it's gonna cost you more per month in flood insurance. So there you have it. Those are just some of the hidden costs that you probably weren't expecting to be so high or honestly there at all. Let's recap some of the big ones for you. The oh shit funds, the emergency funds, save approximately 2 to 3% of your purchase price every single year. And, keep it just in case. Utilities, they've skyrocketed and they're probably not coming back down anytime soon. Just understand what it's gonna actually cost you to run that house. HOA fees, understand how much it's gonna be per month. Also, check for any monthly assessments and when they might expire. Insurance, shop around for insurance. Make sure you have good coverage, but also make sure you have a good rate. Do you need an umbrella policy? Do you need flood insurance? Make sure you account for all of those. Closing costs, I know it's a one-time charge, but make sure you put 2 to 3% away just for that. Your realtor should be able to give you a ballpark of what that number should be. Moving costs, don't forget, those add up. To get a professional mover and to get new furniture in your house. You're probably getting a bigger space, you're gonna need new couches and bedroom sets. It all adds up. Landscaping and outdoor maintenance. It costs a lot of money to keep your property looking good, unless you're gonna do it yourself, but just understand how much it's gonna cost per month and per year, so you can factor that in. And the biggest one, property taxes. When you're looking for houses, understand what the property tax rate is so you can make a wise decision. Look, I'm not trying to scare you from buying a house. Homeownership is one of the best decisions you can make. I've owned my home for a while and I have a ton of equity in it that had I been renting, wouldn't be there. But I want you to go into this with your eyes wide open and be prepared. The bank is only going to tell you what they think you can afford, but only you truly knows what you can afford and what you're comfortable with. Make sure you go into it, spend what you're comfortable with. Don't max out the budget if you don't have to. If you found this video useful, make sure you hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and let me know if there's any other hidden costs that I might have missed. Did any of these surprise you? Maybe you weren't aware of them? Let me know below. Also, if you're looking to buy or sell in New Jersey, you know where to find me. All my contact information is in the description below. I'd love to help you. Be prepared, know what you're getting into, and you'll be just fine. Until next time, my name is Adam, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.